Thank you so much for joining us today on Coffee With. My guest today is John Solomon with Ibis Orchid Designs. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Robyn.
I put an S on it. Is it design or design?
It's Ibis Orchid Design.
Oh, I was really close.
You were close.
Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for
Now,
asking
I
me.
met you a couple years ago at the Vicksburg Association of Marketing Professional meetings when you spoke. And, you know, I'm fairly new to Vicksburg. I've been here roughly 5 years. And, of course, I didn't know about your company. I had seen your designs down at Sassafras. But I was just fascinated by this.
That's nice.
So tell me about your company and how you got started and why you're in Vicksburg.
Well, if you want a longer history, I can tell you
Hey,
how I was born. No, I'm from Vicksburg, and went to. My father was an artist, and he exhibited in the Vicksburg Art Association locally, and so on. So I kind of grew up around it and developed a love for art and design when I was young. It was the only field that I seemed to have any talent in. And so when I went to college, I went to University of Southern Mississippi and majored in graphic communication, which really was preparatory for a life in advertising agencies.
Right.
You know, they taught you how to think in concepts and work in radio and TV and print and all the medium. And that's what I did when I got out for about 15, 17 years up and down the East Coast. I worked for ad agencies and finally got to a point where I was creative director, vice president. It's really interesting what happened because, of course, when I went to college, we didn't have computers. You know, we were still using technology that was, the most recent we had was like World War II technology. When it came to my field, computers changed everything, and they had a profound impact on advertising agencies also because people found out that you could get one creative person and a computer, and you could do much of the work that an entire agency does. And you can outsource your media buying and that type of thing. And that's what this, one of our clients, I was working in Washington, D.C., and we had a client from New Hampshire come, and they were sort of hippie types, but they made pots and pottery and cooking molds and so on. And I went up to be their in-house designer. We had a relationship. When that agency folded, they said, well, come work for us in New Hampshire. And so I got my training there. I went up to be their in-house design department, and I sort of made a switch at that time into being able to design for sculpting also, to think three-dimensionally, how to design and do drawings that sculptors could interpret and bring to life, you know, in a three-dimensional thing. So that was kind of my background for doing this company. That company fell on hard times, and so in 2000 I had moved back to Mississippi. I moved back in 1995 and got married, and then in 2000 decided to start my own company. And we wanted to center the company around botanicals and birds, and of course ibis is a bird, and orchid is a botanical, of course. So ibis and orchid, it was just a lot more creative way of saying birds and blooms, you know, a little memorable name. And so we started the company 11 years ago, and where we were going to design things like flower pots and so on. I should tell you that I have a partner who is a master sculptor. He's a U.S. citizen, but he's from Taiwan, and he's considered master sculptor there. And so that was really great because he could handle all of the Asian production for us. You know, I come up with the ideas and basically run the company from Vicksburg, and I do all the design work, and we're responsible for all the company functions, but he handles the Pacific for us, and he does all the sculpting, and he finds the factories that we work with and arranges the shipping for us, the container shipping and all that.
So you do these designs here on paper?
Yeah, and again, you know, I draw them. You know, when you're thinking of a product, you have to be able to realize it on paper, like from all four sides, and sometimes top and bottom and schematics and so on.
Now, do you actually do it on paper, or
I
do you
it on
do
paper.
computer? So you don't do any CAD design?
The computer's wonderful because I use it for reference. It used to be, you know, 15 years ago, if I wanted to find out what a special kind of orchid looked like, I had to hit the libraries, and reference was very, very limited. But now, you know,
Set your finger
Google it, and I can get 1,000 hits on what I'm looking for.
Well, your designs are so recognizable. Now that I know who you are and what you do, of course, I'm in lots of people's houses with my job, and so many times I turn around and I see
That's nice.
a very recognizable vase. I believe is the one you brought to Vamp that day you spoke. It's
the calla lily vase.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's kind of your signature.
That's our signature vase. I call that our $1 million vase, because that's how much we sold in the first 2 years of that vase's introduction. Really kind of put us on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where in Vicksburg do you sell your products?
We gave an exclusive to Sassafras, and if you go by and see their front window, you'll see Ibis and Orchid window.
Right.
And the reason I gave them an exclusive was, as I said, some 11 years ago when we started, I had a few of my wares, and I was going around from store to store, and nobody was really very interested. But Nancy at Sassafras said, yeah, I'll take a chance on you. I'll put you stuff. And so I said, I think we're going to give you an exclusive, so we'll let you be our carrier. And we don't do that in any other city.
Okay, so you design on paper, and then you send it to your partner in Taiwan who actually makes the piece.
Right, and I will give him the drawings that I do, plus all the color reference, all the floral references and everything. Sometimes when it comes down to a flower, if I can even find a really well done silk flower that's in 3 dimensions, I'll send that along with it too, so they can get a good feel for it. And there's some flowers they're very familiar with, especially a lot of the more tropical styles. But there's a lot they don't particularly know what a Confederate rose looks like.
Right. True. So you send it to him. He sculpts it, and then mass produces.
That's right. We make rubber molds of it, and we take it to a factory there. And I was joking with you at our meeting before. I said we basically have 35 employees in China now, and we basically have our own factory, and that's not by design. That's just that we're their only customer.
Oh.
And so all they make at that factory is Ibis and Orchid product.
Wow.
So we have them dedicated to us, which is really good.
Yeah. So they make it, ship it back to you.
It all comes by container to California, and then by rail to New Orleans, and then by truck to Vicksburg. In fact, we just got a container this morning, and that's why it's hot.
It is very hot. and then
we
you distribute it from your warehouse here.
And we have 2 warehouses in Vicksburg, and our offices are in the old Habib's grocery building on Clay Street, but we don't put up signs or anything, because it's strictly wholesale, and we don't advertise that.
Right.
But that's our offices and our packing and shipping department. And so UPS and FedEx makes regular pickups every day from us.
And then do you ship all over the country, all over the world?
Well, actually, we have about 4,000 stores in the U.S. that buy our products, and we're also in Canada. And as of about 6 months ago, we're in South America. We're in Guatemala and Mexico. And we just this week we're shipping out a huge order to Dubai, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. So.
Yeah. Okay, now you brought something to show me.
Also in Japan.
Oh wow! So you are expanding out of Vicksburg.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Our number one product selling line is night lights. I kind of stumbled on this idea about 6 years ago. And when I first designed them, I had a display board and 9 night lights, just botanicals, just to see how they would do. Well, they really took off. And so 6 years ago I had 9, now I have 160 designs.
Oh my goodness.
And we haven't retired any of them because they all sell. Some more slowly than others, but they all still sell. And it's kind of been in the back of my mind. I wanted to do something really special for Vicksburg. And so you're the first or the second person in Vicksburg to see this, and this is since it's the 150th anniversary of the Civil War,
and what's that called?
Sesquicentennial, I think.
Before we started the taping, you told me you couldn't say that. I shouldn't have asked you that.
I can't say that, but it's 150 years. So I did a well-known icon around Vicksburg, the Illinois Monument and the Cannon, and this is going to be something we'll just sell here in Vicksburg.
So we can get these at Sassafras?
Yeah. And,
are they in the stores already or about to be?
No, not yet. End of September. These will be coming in. In a container near you.
In a container.
Yeah. So it's
and
pretty
then
special.
you have some other information that actually we're going to embed in the video for people to look at while the video
yeah.
is playing.
Okay.
Some of your other designs
Right.
and some other information that'll be showing while we're talking.
Right. Well, and the florals always do well, and the birds do well too. We do a lot of birds.
Well,
and we sell
everything
to a
you
lot of wild
have
bird stores
is
and,
just so beautiful.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of it down at Nancy's, and of course I see that $1 million vase
Yeah,
in so many
about that.
places,
Isn't that
and it
cool?
really is beautiful and so recognizable. And I mean, of course, I had seen it before I ever met you. I had no idea
That's neat.
it was a Vicksburg industry.
Yeah.
So, what have I not asked you that you think we'd find interesting?
I think what's going on in the economy. What's going on with the economy. Our business, as a lot of businesses, we're really tied to the housing market because we're home decor. And if people aren't buying houses and upgrading their homes, they're not buying home decor to put in there.
Sure.
And so in 2008, when that tanked, we took a huge hit that
Did
year.
you? Mm-hmm.
Just like, and a lot of companies, a lot of my competitors, closed their doors. And so, you know, we're happy to still be operating
Sure.
and climbing our way back out of it.
Have you
with
seen
everyone else.
an increase in?
We are picking up customers from other companies that have closed, and I don't take much joy in that. For them, you know, I'm glad that they have somewhere else to go to buy a product. But it's tough. It's
Yeah.
real tough, and I don't see the housing market turning around anytime soon. And the prices from China, I talked about getting a container. Container used to a year and a half ago was $60,000. Now it's $90,000
Wow.
in a year and a half time, and we hadn't raised our prices, so
Yeah, that's a definite.
that'll
hit.
be coming next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much for coming in and having coffee with me today.
Well,
I think
thank
this
you.
is so interesting that we have this industry going on right here in Vicksburg, and a lot of people don't even realize it. And I wish you much continued success. And anytime you have new designs that you want to introduce, we'd love to have you come back.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Promotional consideration provided by
Amber Sanders from Happy Hair. Get your hair happy at 3402 Wisconsin Avenue.